Hi, I'm Cindy Deneve, and I wanted to share with you today a little bit about grief. 3 weeks ago, my mom died. That was really hard for us. She was 85, she had a great life, but it was still hard. When my dad died, when he was just 54, and it was 6 months before my wedding, we did not have any time to say goodbye to him. And that was really hard too. And both died in different ways. My dad died in the hospital and my mom died at home on hospice, and we had time to be able to pray with her and to sing with her and to have a worship service with her. And I was privileged to be able to read from Wrinkle in Time with her, which was one of the books that she read to us during the summer when we were growing up, and to be able to reflect with her on some memories. And even though it was hard for her to communicate, we could tell that she was communicating with us through thumbs up or raised eyebrows, and sometimes verbally as well. And so that was a privilege to be able to have that time at the end with her as she prepared for her homegoing, and to be able to know that someday I'll see her again. But even still, there's this thing called grief. There are those of us still here that miss our loved ones. We had a wedding not long after she died, and it was hard to be able to have a wedding without her, and to be able to know that she was missing that, and to think, oh yeah, where's mom? Oh yeah, that's right, she's not here. And today I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about grief, and that it is okay and important to grieve and to feel all those feelings. I have a friend who's a grief counselor named Chip Whitman, and he would say grief will wait for you. And so if you don't take that time to process that grief, it's going to wait, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger and be more compound, because grief in it takes over our mind, and it can make us burst out into anger, burst out into tears. It can make us more frustrated than we would normally. And it's really important to be able to acknowledge that grief is at the source of that, and to be able to feel those feelings and to allow yourself to cry, and to allow yourself to feel all those feelings. And sometimes you might be crying but also laughing because you have a funny memory of the person. And it's also okay to process through those feelings of the hurts that might have happened in the process. And maybe there are some not so great memories that you have as well, and to be able to share those with loved ones. And what really complicates grief is when you didn't have a chance to say goodbye, when there was something that was left unsaid. And so to take that time to maybe write them a letter, and to be able to express all those feelings and those things that you weren't able to say to them when they were here, and to be able to process through those emotions. It was a privilege to be able to have that time to say goodbye to my mom, although the pain and the hurt is still there. When my dad died suddenly, and he was super healthy and had a heart attack, and he was in the hospital, and all best case scenarios, but he didn't make it, and that was a complete shock to me. And it took me a long time to grieve and to process through my dad's death. And there were so many things that I wished and still wish that he had been there for. uh, After he died, it was just about 6 months before my wedding, and he wasn't there to walk me down the aisle. And that was hard. That was really hard. And to be able to acknowledge those feelings and to process through those feelings brings healing and closure. So, my encouragement, if you're grieving, to be able to take that time to actually feel all those feelings. Sometimes as Christians, we might say, oh, well, we're not sad because we know where the person is. Of course you're sad. You miss them. And it's okay. God gave us all of these emotions. If you read through the Bible, especially through Psalms, there's David, who wrote a lot of the Psalms. He feels sad. He feels frustrated. He feels disappointed. And as you read through the Bible, you can see that God has a lot of those feelings as well. And so it's okay. That's how He made us. feel those feelings. It allows us to be healthy and human and to be able to connect with others relationally as well, and to be able to process through those emotions and to be able to reflect on the life that we're missing.